Welcome to this session on the introduction of programmable logic controllers, that is the PLC. The main objective of this session is to learn the basic of the PLC system, and to learn this we are going to cover following topics. First, about the PLC, then internal architecture of the PLC system, working of the PLC system, and the IEC standards of the PLC. So PLC stands for programmable logic controller. So controller means the hardware, logic means the program, and programmable means the system by which we transfer our program to this controller. So as per the National Electrical Manufacturers Association NEMA, PLC defines as a digitally operating electronic apparatus which uses a programmable memory for the internal storage of instructions by implementing specific functions such as logic, sequencing, timing, counting, and arithmetic to control through digital or analog input output modules various type of machines or processes. So PLCs are very much similar to computers. What? Whereas computers are designed and optimized for the calculation and display tasks, what? PLCs are designed for control tasks and the industrial environment. Thus, PLCs are rugged and designed to withstand vibrations, temperature, humidity, and noise, and having the interface for inputs and outputs already inside the controller. So let us understand the block diagram of PLC and the architecture of the PLC. So typically a PLC system has the basic functional component of processor unit, memory, power supply unit, input or output interface sections, communication interface, and the programming devices. The processor unit or central processing unit in the CPU containing the microprocessor, and this unit interprets the input signals and carries out the control actions according to the program stored in its memory. The power supply unit is needed to convert the mains AC voltage to the low voltage DC, that is up to the range of the 5 volt, necessary for the processor and the circuit in the input and output interface modules. The programming device is used to enter the required program into the memory of the processor, and the program is debugged in the device that is transferred to the memory unit of the PLC. The memory unit is where the program contains the control action to be exercised by the microprocessor is stored, and where the data is stored from the input from processing and for the output. So this is the block diagram of the PLC, and this one is the architecture of the PLC. Here we have the CPU with RAM, internal battery, clock input, system ROM for the program, data RAM to store the running variables, input output units, and all these units are interfaced with the CPU on the common address bus and the control bus. And for the data bus, we have the data bus here, right? And input output devices are communicating with external devices by using IO system bus, and to provide the isolation with the interface devices, generally PLC are using the optocouplers, that is the optical isolation. Next is the working of the PLC. So in the field, input and output are having the amplitude of 24 volt DC, and for the analog that is also have the range of 24 volt AC, that is a plus minus, or depending on the specification of the input module and the output module, we are interfacing our inputs on the input module, and further these inputs are optically isolated channel are given to the processor of the PLC. Same for the output. When we have to operate some device with the help of PLC, either we are using the 24 volt or we are using the 240 volt AC circuit. So the output in the range of the 5 volt is generated by the processor of the PLC, and further with the optical isolation and the output driver circuit that is converted in the range of the 24 volt or 240 volt AC. Now let understand how PLC is going to be execute these inputs and outputs. So this is actually the closed loop operation. First PLC reads the input, then execute the program, diagnose and do the communication, and update the outputs as per the input status and the logic of the program. The infinite loop for the PLC function. Next is the standard on which PLCs are developed. So PLCs are developed on IEC 61131 standard, where IEC stands for International Electrotechnical Commission, which is a world recognized standard organization founded in 1906. So this is the global standard, and it allows to reuse and share the information between the different hardware platforms. So IEC standard provides the different sections to complete the or cover the complete life cycle of the PLC. The first one is the part number 1 of the IEC 61131 is the general definition of the basic terminology and the concepts in the automation and the PLC system. Part 2 defines the electronic and mechanical equipment requirement and verification tests for the PLCs and associated equipments. The part 3 of this standard defines the programming languages. Part 4 provides the guidance on selection, installation and maintenance of the PLC. Part 5, it provides the guidelines on the software facilities needed for the communication with other devices based on the manufacturing messaging specification, that is MMS. Next is the part 6. It discusses about the functional safety. Part 7, it discusses about the fuzzy control programming. Part 8, it provides the guidelines for the implementation of PLC programming language as defined in the part number 3. In the part number 9, it defines the single drop digital communication interface for small sensors and actuators, that is the SDCI, which is marketed as IO Link. So here IO Link is a short distance bidirectional digital point to point wired or wireless communication. And the last point, that is this defines PLC Open XML exchange format for the export and import of IEC 61131-3 projects. So next, let us summarize the different programming languages used as per the IEC 61131 part 3 for the programming of the PLC. So programmable logic controllers are be used by the engineers without programming background. So the best practice of the IEC 61131 standard is to provide the easiest way to program the PLC. So the generally as per the standard, the programming languages are divided into two categories. First one is the textual language and second is the graphical language. Further, this textual language have two types. One is the instruction list and second is the structured text. In graphical language, we have first ladder diagram, functional block diagram and sequential function charts. So in India, the most of the PLCs here we are using this ladder diagram. So instruction list, a low level text based language that uses mnemonics instructions, just like the coding of the assembly language code for the controllers. Then second is the structured text, a high level text based language such as the basic C or Pascal, specifically developed for industrial control applications. Then the next is the ladder diagram, a graphical representation of a process with rungs of logic and similar to the relay ladder logic schemes that were replaced by the PLC. Next is the functional block diagram, a graphical depiction of process flow using the simple and complex interconnecting blocks. And the last is sequential function charts, a graphical depiction of interconnecting steps, actions and transitions. So this is all about the introduction of the PLC. In the next sessions we will discuss in detail the concepts of the ladder diagram. Then we will proceed towards the programming of PLC for different logics. So thanks for watching this video.